Change can be a worrying thing. Sometimes Doctor Who is one of the most stable institutions in British sci-fi television, and yet other times it appears to hang solely by the skin of its teeth. I recently got thinking about the closing serial of what is now known as the classic Doctor Who era. By that I'm talking about Survival. I was wondering if it was deserving of a retrospective look, and well, of course it is. There's a lot to unpack with this one. Not all of it mesmerisingly brilliant, as some of you may know. And then look what happened. I got wind of the big news that both Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall would be making their exit in the autumn of 2022, leaving Doctor Who's entire television future swinging erratically in the realms of uncertainty. With that comes a sense that history might sort of be repeating itself a little. I'm not here specifically to throw shade on Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. I would probably save that for another video, which would be pretty long and complex, as there is a hell of a lot to discuss about the Whittaker saga, and the age of media in which it partly unwittingly found itself nestled in, meaning that discussing the quality of the show goes beyond one singular quantifiable critique, and yeah, you see, I'm waffling already. Going off topic. People in cat costumes. So hot apparently that one of the extras stripped off to her underwear and stormed off set. Simpler times. 1989. No social media. VHS tapes. Black cats and hail and pace. There they are there, look. Running a newsagents and telling jokes. Yep. Survival was a strange old bit of TV theatre, and not what you would call a finale by any stretch of the imagination. And it was only partially aware that it was even meant to be one, with a poetic monologue added last minute at the end, just to provide some small semblance of closure before Doctor Who officially shut shop in 1990. This was definitely a different product to the one that began in the 60s. In 1964, you had a Dalek emerging menacingly from the River Thames, and in 1989, you had a cheetah on a horse chasing a teenager in a kid's playground. What a journey. And Survival is a little misguided, but it's not all bad. It's one of those ideas that had a lot of potential on paper, and the execution alone was just a bit of a misfire. I really dig shots like this one. In fact, this entire alien planet is pretty effective. Nice, simple, barren backdrop. Bit of colour. Yep, works for me. It's all good. Good shot, Ace. Survival told a tale of primeval instincts coming unglued, and a world that was somehow biologically tethered to its native species. So if you stayed there for too long, you would eventually turn into one of these cheetah people. Likewise, if you went too volatile, the planet would correspond and start to explode. Yikes. And these cheetahs were basically big cats, in literally every sense of the word. Not good or bad, just playful, energetic, whimsical and savage. Literally just like cats. Look at them playing there. And of course, like every domestic feline, they had the ability to teleport. Say what you like about this, but this is bloody terrifying. When this jagged-toothed black Moggins is out and about, terror arrives in its wake. And when I say terror, I mean, yeah. Things take a turn for the worse when this gaggle of misfits get teleported along with the Doctor, and they're not what you'd call the most charismatic group of supporting characters. There's this really annoying drill sergeant, this guy who looks like a freshly regenerated David Tennant, a poor defenceless milkman. Some of Ace's mates, they're a bunch of half-wits, and the less said about them the better. Seriously, they're flipping useless. And of course we got the Master, an interesting send-off, that's one way of putting it, to Mr. Anthony Ainley. Thank you for your service. You know when the Doctor and the Master get together and every so often they would reminisce over days of old? Well, I like to imagine that if the Doctor were to do that in regards to this adventure, the Master would probably turn around and say, actually Doctor, do you mind if we just not bring that one up? He spends the entirety of the serial half cat, only partially able to control the instinctive feline urges put upon him after being trapped on the planet of cheetahs. I mean, yeah, he uses his hypnosis to control these cat people and this gang of hoodlums, but ultimately he's as much a victim to the sinister forces at work as anybody else in this adventure, and it culminates in, well, now actually, we get to the good stuff. Amidst the weird and jaded three-part story that is Survival, there is one gem which consistently delivers throughout, and that is the Doctor himself. Sylvester McCoy was a great Doctor, and he really gave the role everything he had. I love the fact that for pretty much the entirety of the first episode, he and Ace are talking to each other about two completely different things and not really paying much attention to what the other person is saying. You know, I think the new Doctor Who owes quite a lot to that kind of exchange. He operates in a sort of bewildered state of concentration as he goes about his business, unfolding the mystery and not really expecting anybody to even understand what he's up to. I'd say it's a little Capaldi-esque. Get out of my way, humans, I know what I'm doing. He even gets annoyed with a dog. And talking of the Doctor, survival has a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, and that is the Doctor playing chicken on a motorcycle, with the kind of intense grit you'd expect from an animated biker gang in a dystopian future Tokyo, but with more violence and carnage. As a result of this explosive joust, that guy dies, and the Doctor, well, what did you expect? The story culminates in this standoff between Master and Doctor, which, fair play, is the one thing here that's actually worthy of a finale. A bit of talk, and then a big old scrap. Both of them are true to their characters until the bitter end, with the Master baying for blood and the Doctor striving for peace. Not really sure why all the cats faded away there. Just as the Doctor is about to go all feline, he yells the following: "If we fight like animals, we'll die like animals." You know, for that alone, I'd say Survival was worth the effort. It was the last on many fronts. It was the last TV appearance of Anthony Ainley's Master. It was the last time we would ever get to see these opening credits with their unique brand of 80s CGI. I love these opening titles and the rendition of the classic theme music that accompanies it, and I don't care who knows it. Brilliant stuff, beautiful. But mainly it was the last we would see of Doctor Who as a weekly episodic institution, that after a bizarre standalone EastEnders crossover for children in need, a decidedly solid TV movie, and the BBV... Wait, BBV? Well, that's certainly a topic for another video, or should I say several videos. I would like to cover these one day. Watch this space, maybe. Would not return until the deep future of 2005. My word, has it really been that long? Short version, Doctor Who slept, it took a big deep breath, and then it woke up stronger than ever. There are definitely elements of Survival that I like, but history does indeed show that the Doctor needed a break, and there's nothing wrong with that, because the run it had was unprecedented, the achievements staggering, the influence cosmic, the inspiration everlasting. So, are we due another well-needed hiatus? I thought long and hard about this, and simply put, I'm not ready to campaign for closure on this product until we see how the story ends. Like Survival in the seasons leading up to it, what we've seen of Chibnall's saga so far has had its highs and lows, and like I've said before, I could make a whole other video just on that, but the rest is a totally different ballgame. I mean, look at those two faces. There's some real intensity there that begs for more exploration, and I'm cautiously optimistic that we might just get to see that in the 9 installments ahead. Remember this much, the most important thing that Survival taught us. If we fight like animals, we'll die like animals. So let's all be nice to each other. Come on, Ace, we have work to do. What other Doctor Who stuff would you like me to talk about? Sound off in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a good one.